There is one question that is maybe the most consequential in American politics for the foreseeable future. That question is what happens to the Republican Party after Donald Trump. Second to that, a very close second, is who's the Democratic nominee in 2026, right? What does the Democratic Party choose as a direction for the next presidential race? But on the first question of what happens to the Republican Party after Trump, we have some fascinating new information. The succession plan that Trump and the people around him wanted has been revealed to the Daily Mail. It is even more dynastic and creepy and cult-like than you would expect. According to this report, MAGA power brokers mapped out a very long-term succession plan to try to keep Trumpism in control of the Republican Party for decades. We are talking more than 30 years of total reign. And here's how it was supposed to work. First phase is in 2028, JD Vance runs for president. Who was supposed to be his vice president? Charlie Kirk, the now deceased Charlie Kirk. After 8 years of a Vance presidency, the plan was for Charlie Kirk to become president himself with Donald Trump Jr. as his vice president. That is coming directly from Turning Point USA board member Mike Miller, longtime Trump ally, and described the plan in an interview. In his words, it was supposed to be JD and Charlie for 8 years after Trump, and then Charlie, and then after that, probably Donald Trump Jr. This was not about voters deciding anything organically or about Republican insiders or Republican voters, better said, deciding on the direction of the party. This was an internal grooming pipeline, a hand-picked MAGA sort of royal line of sorts, more akin to the British royal family than American democracy. And the reporting makes it really clear that this is not a new plan. Shortly after Charlie Kirk was introduced to the Trump family, Trump Jr. praised Kirk and said he's brilliant and this is someone who could be president. JD Vance has since confirmed that Charlie Kirk played a major role in introducing him to Donald Trump and helping him rise politically and ultimately in JD Vance becoming vice president of the United States. And Vance even gives credit to Charlie Kirk, not just with winning the 2024 election, but staffing the entire government. So that is not campaigning for anything. That is ideological capture. Now, obviously, Charlie Kirk is dead. So the plan as written can't be carried out anymore. But the takeaway is that the thinking was there, the mindset is there, and they are not just going to abandon all of this because Charlie Kirk is no longer alive. Trumpism is not supposed to end with Trump. We now know that. We've figured it out. It was designed to outlive Trump for a long time, to be sort of inherited like you would your parents' estate and be passed down through series of loyalists and family members and ideological enforcers. And if you look at history, this is how a political movement turns into an authoritarian political dynasty. It's not because they win debates and people really love their policy. It's because insiders are deciding who gets power next. The real takeaway here is the fact that there was a plan. Like, okay, Charlie Kirk was in it. Charlie Kirk was killed. He can't be part of the plan anymore. The fact that there was a multi-decade plan is the takeaway. Since Charlie Kirk was killed, the lineup would have to be different. But they are thinking of some version of this. And the speculation about Don Jr. at some point in the future has been floated around before. If anything, my expectation is that the death of Charlie Kirk probably accelerates the scramble. Without him, there's this vacuum at the top. The influencer to power pipeline now needs to be tweaked. And that is not going to lead to a more moderate Republican Party if this line of succession were to succeed. Now, what hasn't changed is that JD Vance is very obviously positioned as the next standard bearer. And I'm of two minds on this. On the one hand, I acknowledge and I am aware that never does the natural nominee 3 years out become the nominee. It just doesn't happen. It's always somebody else. It's someone who comes up and is noticed later. The difference is that this time they're actually planning ahead in a more proactive and specific way. So maybe that is going to be the next generation, and they're just going to have to figure out who fills the Charlie Kirk slot. Is it a different right-wing influencer? Is it a media personality? Is it some other Trump family member that steps forward sooner? What we know here is that Trump world isn't thinking about this in terms of winning the hearts and minds of voters and the will of the people. They were thinking about it as, how can we decide who gets to have the power? Now, think about the timeline. Vance, 2028, Vance, 2032. Charlie Kirk, 2036, Charlie Kirk, 2040. Don Jr., 2044, Don Jr., 2048. That would mean that from 2016 onwards, in some form, with a 4-year break there for Joe Biden, or from 2024 on in consecutive fashion, they have an idea of continuing this for 30 years. Think about other dynasties that operate this way. The Kim family in North Korea. They didn't start with forever rule on day one. The Castros in Cuba. There are other examples. The early phase is about consolidating power around a dominant figure and conferring enough power to the dominant figure that they then can decide who succeeds them. And then the final phase is normalization. You just got to get people used to the idea that this is how leadership works now. And that's what's so striking about it. It is really not about winning the next election by convincing people that your ideas are better. It's, can we lock in a lineage here and look at the ages? I mean, Don Jr. would be 71 by the time he finishes this hypothetical second term in this imaginary plan. That is not a youthful movement breaking norms anymore. That is a strategy of long-term entrenchment designed to outlast Trump himself by a lot and to keep the family name in power. So when people say Trump will be gone eventually, this is the answer that Trump world has in mind. It is terrifying. It is disgusting. It is authoritarian. But you know what? We have power here. We have influence, and it is up to us to make damn sure that it does not happen. Appreciate you watching. Stick around for this next video, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you actually see our uploads. You can also catch the full podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.